This episode is sponsored by Blizzard Entertainment. Battle your way through a hell-scorched world in Diablo Immortal, a new fresh way to experience the cinematic world of Diablo, available on mobile devices. Diablo Immortal combines classic elements you've come to know and love from the Diablo franchise, with easy-to-pick-up gameplay and abilities, making it the perfect game for both experienced and new players. Choose from several unique classes, each with their own powers and playstyle before battling endless hordes of enemies. And with daily activities and quests, countless dungeons to explore with friends, and new updates and events every 2 weeks, you'll quickly find yourself immersed in the world of Diablo Immortal. Best of all, it's free to play, and if you use the code ZergRush when you download the game, you'll receive legendary gear, rare crests, and much more. It's time to answer the call to battle. Download Diablo Immortal today via the link in the description. Thank you to Blizzard Entertainment for sponsoring this part of the episode. Now let's begin.
I'm Kerry Stagmer, and we are the Blacksmiths of Baltimore Knife and Sword. We're going to be building some of your favorite things and fantastic objects you've never seen before. This is Man-at-Arms, Reforged.
Today on Man-at-Arms, we're going to be building Gyomei's spiked flail and axe from Demon Slayer. You've seen us make Kusurigama here on the channel before, but you've never seen anything like this. This thing is absolutely massive. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get to it and build the Destroyer of Demons. We start at the CNC plasma torch by cutting the cladding for the axe. This axe blade is going to be in Damascus, and we know what shape we want it to be, so I also cut out a template that's going to allow Kevin to match directly to that material.
We have a 30-layer billet here, already welded, ready to go. We need to make a bit this shape for the Demon Slayer axe that we're about to put together. So it's all prepped, ready to go. We just got to get it hot and pound it to shape.
Now with the billet forge welded and drawn out, Kevin's going to cut off the amount of material that he needs for this axe blade. It doesn't have the right form yet, so we'll bring it back up to heat and forge it until it's the right thickness and the right length that we can create this axe. We could just be working from a really large piece of Damascus and cut it out the same way we did the template, but that would be silly since we're hot forging it. Why not just shape it to make the correct form for the axe blade? The piece actually ends up being a little bit long, so we go to the sweet spot where the curves are about the same, cut off the excess material. Those excess ends will not get wasted. They're going to get turned into some form of knives.
Now that we have the Damascus bit for our axe blade shaped and prepared, I'm going to weld the side plates on. You see I've laid it out, clamped them together. Now we'll weld them up. Now that we have our side plates welded on for our axe head, next step is to weld it to the socket. But before I do that, I want to insert this piece of steel as reinforcement. So we'll drive it in and then weld them all together.
This is actually a pretty large axe. You'll see that the side plates are spread and it's slightly hollow inside. It's still massive, but it's going to be on the end of a chain and we have to be able to swing it, so we have to keep a little bit of weight off. John's now going to add the socket. It's basically a piece of pipe, but we will add a lot of weld and blend it in so that it looks like a big forging. If this thing was forged solid, we'd barely be able to pick it up off the end of the chain.
I've been working on getting these cylinders ready to make into spikes for the flail for the Demon Slayer build. I will be tapering the cylinder down to a spear-like shape to get them nice and spike-like.
Josh is going to be cutting out these steel spikes. There's quite a few of them. I think he has to make 24. It's going to take a little while. It's not the most complicated work, but when you have so many pieces to make, you're just standing in front of the machine for hours and hours. 2 down, 22 more to go. I think we'll go check in with the rest of the shop while Josh stays on this.
Now we're on to the spiked ball and chain of this flail. And this is monstrous. We've got these 2 spun dome halves that I'm now going to lay out and figure out where all our spikes are going. And now I have to do a whole bunch of math. There'll be 24 spikes on the flail altogether. And that's just an amazing amount of silliness that I'm all here for. I'm completely here for it. Really?
Make it more exciting. Doing a lot of zooms.
I'm doing it as wildly as humanly possible right now. Okay, guys, I promise.
Is that a fun looking?
That's cool, yeah.
Paul's going to be using a hand drill to set the pilots for these holes. The reason he's using a hand drill instead of a drill press is there's no easy way to get a ball underneath of a drill press. To make sure that he's got the holes in the right places, he uses a spring set. Kind of like a punch that you would use and strike it with a hammer, but it's got an internal spring and a piece of probably tungsten that strikes the back of it.
Now that I've got all my layout done, I've started my pilot holes. I'm slowly going to gauge them up to 1/2 inch where we're going to go ahead and slip our bolts in for John to weld up. Why don't you use a drill press, Paul? Because I can't fit the dome in it.
We did used to make a lot of armor here at Baltimore Knife, and when we did that, there was a drill press with a ball underneath of it that had a hole in it that allowed us to put things like helmets on it. But for now, we'll default to the hand drill.
Okay. Now that John's got the welds all cleaned up, it's my job now to put in the bevels for heat treat. So I've ground basically halfway to the mark that I want to finish grind to, but this would be fine for heat treat.
To harden the axe blade, the Damascus on the front edge of this, Butch is going to put it in a kiln at 1450 degrees, let it soak, and then we'll take it out and quench it into Parks 50 oil. Josh has been working hard to make spike after spike after spike. Now that he has all 24 spikes ready to go, let's see how John plans to attach each one to our flail.
Next step to do on our flail head is to mount these bolts, which are for our spikes. They're tacked. Put the bolts through the hole. We thread a spike on. Then I can tack weld it on the inside, which will allow us to remove the spikes later.
John's going to be welding these bolts into place. They'll screw into the back of the spikes. The idea for us is we know we're going to go out and smash things that are messy with this, and we want to be able to take the spikes off and clean the entire thing and put it right back together.
Now that Josh has finished laying out these spikes, I can take them to the grinder. I'm going to take all these lines off and we can put them onto the flail.
You can certainly do this kind of sanding and polishing just by turning them in your hand. But that would be silly. Let's do this the easy way and get a nice bright finish over the entire piece. It really lets us blend these and make them very nice. Josh is going to take a piece of steel and make this handle. We could have made it out of wood and maybe saved a little bit of weight, but we know we're going to bash this thing around and we want to make sure it's very strong.
So what we're getting ready to do, this is out of heat treat. Edwin has cleaned up the surfaces on the back of this blade. The Damascus still needs to be ground the rest of the way out to finish, and then etched.
So what we're now going to see as we take this out of the ferric chloride is 30% and it's eating the different layers of steel depending on how much chrome is in them. So I'm going to take this out and the pattern will be very strong. It'll be a really cool looking edge for this huge axe.
Now that we have all our bolts welded in and our chain attached, it's time to weld the two hemispheres together.
John's now put these two hemispheres together. We're going to blend that weld off and make it into one. But with the chain already attached to it, it looks like it should have an anchor on the bottom and be floating in the North Sea. We use a couple different grits to smooth these lines off, starting with a rough grit, and you get close to the metal itself. But then we'll go to a finer grit and blend that out. It kind of makes this piece look seamless and it makes it into one big ball. Looks like we started with that from the very beginning. With so many spikes on this flail, we're going to have to be careful how we handle it. Let's get this thing together and see how it looks. And boy, is it going to smash some stuff.
神道滅却する日もまた涼しい
I don't know which one to hit it with, though.
Fight!
To see such a pitiful creature as this, I grieve for him.
He'll probably chop real good.
That was much better.
Download Diablo Immortal today and use the code ZergRush to claim your free legendary rewards. Play now. Click here to subscribe, or click here to subscribe to Baltimore Knife and Sword. Click the video to see more here on the All Me channel.